do anything, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shai, Warakakadash, right? Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, the God of Israel, the God of the Bible, right? In the Paleo Hebrew. Yahweh Shai being the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in the Paleo Hebrew, right? And Rakakadash being the Holy Spirit, right? We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Father, His Son, and the Holy Spirit before we do anything, right? And today I want to get the precept, right? Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse 4, and you give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19, right?
Jeremiah 25 and 4. Break it down. And it reads, and Yahweh hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened,
But
ye have not hearkened.
So Yahweh is sending these prophets on the highways and byways, right? Giving us the spirit to awake, right? And awaken our people, man. But our people are not hearkening, read.
Nor incline your ear to hear.
Right? Read.
They said, turn ye again now.
What are we saying?
Turn ye again now.
What do we tell our people every damn week, man?
Turn ye again now.
Right, read.
Everyone from his evil way.
From his what?
From his evil way.
Hey, we out here declaring to so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics to turn from your evil ways, man. Right? We're telling them to turn from their damn evil ways, right? Bring that out.
It's Deuteronomy 30, verse 19.
Right.
I call heaven and earth to record this day against you,
Two witnesses, man. Read.
that I have set before you life and death.
What has the Most High set before every man?
Life and death.
Hey, the Most High set life and death before you, right? Read.
Blessing and cursing.
Right?
Therefore choose life.
Choose what?
Choose life.
Choose what?
Choose life.
Hey, that's what we have to be out here doing, man. We have to choose life, right? Read.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
So that we can live, man. The Most High said to choose life in this thing, man. That's a commandment, right? That you have to keep, man. You have to choose life in this thing, right? Because the problem is that we're out here choosing damn death, man. We're out here drinking, right? Babylon the whore, wine, right? And that's not the cup that we ought to be drinking from. Give me the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 21, right? Baba Kushab. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 21. Because the Most High has set it up to where you choose this or you choose that, man. And it's plain and simple. Read.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21.
Right.
Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord.
Right, meaning what? Life, right? You cannot drink the cup of the Lord. Read.
And the cup of devils.
And the cup of what?
And the cup of devils.
And who are these damn devils, man? These other nations, man. We cannot continue to drink the cup of these other nations, man. Read.
Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table.
Right?
And of the table of the devil.
See that, man? So what do we have to do, man? We can't sit here and continue to drink out of these damn other nations' cups, man. That's filthy, dirty, and disgusting, man. That's disgusting, man. Give me the book of Revelation chapter 14, right, in verse 10.
Revelation 14 and 10.
Because this is what's going to happen if you drink of that cup of the devil, man. Right? Read.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God.
Of the what?
Of the wrath of God.
Give me Revelation 19 and verse 15, right? What is this cup of the wrath of God, right? Let's see what the wrath of God looks like, man.
Which is poured out.
Hold that, King. Hold that.
This is Revelations 19 and 15.
Right?
And out of his mouth goeth the sharp sword.
Right?
That with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. He treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty God.
And that's the wrath of the Almighty God, man.
That's right.
It's going to pour out upon these damn heathens. That they get ruled over with the rod of iron, man. This is the heathen's cup that they have to drink of, right? Not Jacob's cup, right? Jacob has his own damn cup, man. So we can't drink of this wrath, right? Read, continue.
Come. Salaki.
Verse 10.
Come. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation,
Right?
and he shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
And that's straight like it is, man. That scripture says what it reads, man. If you want to drink of that damn cup, man, you're gonna end up in that fiery damn lake, man. And you're gonna burn the hell up with all of these heathen, man. If you want to drink out of their damn cup, man, right? That's not your damn cup to drink out of. You understand? Right? Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 11 and verse 16, right? And give me Jeremiah 25 and verse 25. Bible for sure. Salakia, 25 and 15, right? Give me Psalms 11 and 6.
It's in Psalms 11 and 6.
Right?
Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone, and in horrible tempest this shall be the portion of their cup.
Of their what?
Of their cup.
What's the portion of their cup? Read it again, King.
Upon the wicked.
If you're damn wicked, man, if you're a wicked ass Israelite, right? Or you're wicked by blood, meaning what other nations, man, what's gonna happen to you?
He shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup.
So that's the portion of their cup, man. If you want to be a damn wicked Israelite and continue to drink out of this cup of damn Babylon, man, right? That's what's gonna happen to you, man. That's exactly what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna rain fire and damn brimstone, man. You're
Just
gonna
getting all
rain
the angles
fire.
like you're supposed to do.
Hey, sister, y'all got a chance to hear the word of the Lord?
You know,
Y'all got 3 minutes?
good camera work.
3 minutes for the Lord?
All praise, all praise, all praise.
Y'all do?
All praise, all praise.
We out here for y'all. We not out here asking y'all for no money. We don't want y'all to, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna ask you to pass the plate around. We're not your Christian pastor, right? We just some brothers out here that come out for our people to show y'all what the Bible really says. So you said you've seen what? You seen this or that? You seen these pictures? So let me ask you a question. Do you know who the Israelites are? I'm gonna show you who the Israelites are. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Right? Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Bring it out.
Bring that out.
Deuteronomy 1, chapter 1, verse 1.
Right?
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto who?
Unto all Israel.
So we in the book of Deuteronomy, right? So this book of Deuteronomy is Moses speaking to the children of Israel. He's not talking to anybody else, right? This is one of 18 nations according to the Bible, right? So Moses is speaking to one nation. Out of all 18 nations on this earth, he's speaking to one nation in this chapter, in this book, right? Give me 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So Moses is telling the Israelites that we're a holy people unto God, right? Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Lord said that we're above all people upon the face of the earth, right? So he said that we're a special people unto him, right? Because we are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, right?
That's right.
And we can prove that, right? Do y'all know about the covenants according to the Bible? Do y'all know what a covenant is? A covenant is simply a contract, right? And the contract is that the Lord made a covenant or a contract with the nation of Israel to be his people, right? But with any contract, there's what? Terms and conditions. That thing that we click accept and we don't even read, that's pretty much what we did back in that day. You know what I'm saying? We clicked accept, but we didn't really, we should have really understood what the terms and conditions were. We're going to get those terms and conditions. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15, right? I want to show y'all something real fast.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1.
So these are the terms and conditions to us being the children of God and God being our Father, right? That's the contract that we made with each other. We said, yeah, we'll be your children, we'll be your people, and you'll be our God, right? And none else. Read.
And it shall come to pass, if any thou shalt hearken diligently.
Read it correctly, King.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So he said that we're a set apart people. We're a holy people, special people to him. And if we listen to everything that he's commanded us to do, right, he will set us on high above the earth. That's one term to the condition, right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
This is another term. How you doing, sister? Right now we're explaining that the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are the children of Israel, right? And what we're reading right now is the terms and conditions in which the Israelites, which would be us, our forefathers, our ancestors, made a contract with God. So we're reading the terms and conditions to that contract. Read.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So a term and condition to being his children is that if we don't listen to him, read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So it says that the term and condition is that if we don't listen to his commandments and do them, right, that these curses shall overcome us and take us. Read verse 46, right?
Verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign.
What?
For a sign.
So these curses are going to be upon us for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder.
So let me ask y'all a question. What is the sign there to do? Indicate something, right? That sign says Brazil du Park because what? That's the name of the restaurant. You know you're there because it has a sign on it, right? And that's what these curses are. These curses are signs in this day to let us know who these people are, right? Who are the children of Israel? And it says, and a wonder. It's probably things that you've wondered about, right? Read.
And upon thy seed forever.
Until when?
And upon thy seed forever.
So it's upon these children forever, as long as they continue to procreate, right? These signs and these curses will be upon them forever, right? So let's get a curse, right? So that we can identify who these people are, right? Give me verse 54, right? Because Deuteronomy 28:15 on down is nothing but curses that are put upon the children of Israel. And we can look at these curses and see who identifies with these curses, right? Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you,
right,
and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So it says that the Israelite man is going to have an evil eye toward his brother, right? What nation today has an evil eye toward their own people? That would be us, right? We're the only ones that make music about killing each other, right? We don't talk about killing other people, right? We talk about killing people that look like us, right? Any other nation make music that way? No. They'll listen to our music and rap along with it in the destruction of that is knowing that it's destroying us and not them, right? But nevertheless, we're the only ones that make this type of music. And what else? We're the only ones that set up clubs, aka gangs, right, to do what? Kill each other, right? The Italian mafia is not killing other Italians. You see what I'm saying? Chinese gangs are not killing other Chinese. They're killing other nations, right? But we're the only ones that set up, right, these organizations to kill each other over nothing, over a block that we damn don't even own, right? Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Right,
and
so that's a curse. That's the reason that this is upon our people. And you probably wondered that. That's why I said it's a sign and a wonder. You probably wonder, why do we hate our own people, right? And we don't even know it, right? Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And so the women of his nation, he's going to have an evil eye towards. Who has an evil eye towards their women? Do white men call their women bitches and hoes? Do they pimp them out? Do they glorify them being strippers and things of this nature? No, who does that? The so-called black men, right? The so-called Hispanic men. We're the ones who pimp our women out and call them names and things of that nature. Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom. And toward the remnant of his children.
It says, and toward his children, he's going to have an evil eye, right? What do y'all think that's talking about? What is the so-called black man known for doing? Being absent in the children's life, right? That's a proverb upon us. They say black people don't know their dad, right? Read.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
And the Bible said he's going to leave his children. And that's upon what nation of people? Are Chinese people known for leaving their children? What about white people? What about the Arab man? Who's known for that? But who's known for that, man? The so-called black people. That's how we know we are the children of Israel, right? Give me verse 47.
Verse 47.
This is another curse.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
The Lord said, because we didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness in our heart, we're happy to serve him for the abundance of everything, right? Because he says this earth was made for our sake. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
He said you're going to serve your enemy. You don't want to serve your father, you're going to serve your enemy. That's the same way the father kicking you out, right? You don't want to abide by my rules. you're gonna go live in the world, you're gonna see how really hard it is, right? Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger.
Let me ask y'all a question. Anytime we need food, who do we have to serve? To get it, right? We have to serve our enemy, correct? Can the white man go and purchase food from a business owned by people that look like them? Right? HEB is owned by a white person, right? He can go to HEB, buy food for his family, and know that he's contributing to what? His own nation. And every dollar he spends, he's contributing to his own nation, right? Can we do the same thing? No. Even if we go to a food truck owned by a so-called black man, right? Where does he get his food from? So inevitably, when we support him, he then in returns has to do what? Support the white man again. Where the white man can have his dollars circulate in his own nation. And that's the same for all the other nations, right? The so-called Arabs can go to a halal place. The so-called Chinese people can go to their own grocery store. We can't do that, right? We have to serve our enemy for these things, right? And serving our enemy goes into who do we work for, right? In order to pay for the food. We have to work for our enemies. A Chinese man can work for a Chinese company, and so on and so forth. All these other nations can do this. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in a hunger.
So if we need food, and what else?
And in thirst.
If we need something to drink, we don't own any aquifers. What else? Read.
And in nakedness.
Everything that goes into our backs, all the way down to the damn cotton mills and gins, we don't even own. We have to get from our oppressors. If a so-called black man has a business, a clothing line, he has to get that from his oppressor, right? And no other nation has to do that. Read.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. If you want a degree, you want a house, you want a car, you want anything in this life, you have to serve your enemy to get it, right? And no other nation has to do that. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
A what?
A yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Who had a yoke of iron upon their neck? The so-called black, Native American, and Hispanic. We're the ones who went into chattel slavery, right? With a yoke of iron upon our neck, right? Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he have what?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Who's a destroyed people to this day? Our nation, we're the ones that are fighting for civil rights, right? We're the ones that's marching for basic human rights in 2021, right? Let's get one more curse just to hammer in the nail in the coffin, right? Give me verse 68. Judah chapter 5 and verse 11.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
Right, read.
And the Lord shall send thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord's going to send the Israelites into Egypt again, right? Y'all know what the Israelites are doing in Egypt. Bring out Judah chapter 5 and verse 11. I'm sorry? We're going to read it for you. We're going to tell you exactly what the Israelites were doing in Egypt.
Judah chapter 5 verse 11. Therefore the king of Egypt,
The king of who?
the king of Egypt,
Read.
rose up against them and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring and brick, and made them slaves.
And made them what?
And made them slaves.
So the children of Israel were slaves in Egypt, right? That's why Moses had to tell Pharaoh, let my people go, right? Right. Because Moses went to go deliver the Israelites out of Egypt. We're the ones who built those pyramids in Egypt, right? It wasn't Egyptians that just said, hey, let's all build this pyramid. No, they enslaved the Israelites and made us build those pyramids up, right? So let me ask y'all a question. How did the so-called, you identify yourself as black or African American? You guys as well? How did the so-called black or African American get to this land right here? You said what? You said you thought we always been here? So, what would you say, sister? What's your answer? We were what? How were we brought here? White people brought us here? For what? For slavery? And by what transportation? By what mode of transportation? By what? Probably a boat that looks like that, right? That's the so-called slave ship, right? Just that we were brought here, the so-called blacks were brought here, right, from the coast of West Africa as slaves on slave ships, right? So read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord says he's going to bring the Israelites into Egypt again. And the Israelites know Egypt as slavery, right? Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
So the Lord's going to bring the Israelites into slavery, right? With ships, right? Who did that happen to in history? Who did? Black people? And let me ask you a question, right? Why is there an Egyptian pyramid on the back of your dollar bill? There's an Egyptian pyramid on the back of your dollar bill because the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt and we were enslaved here as well, right? This is spiritually Egypt all over again. That's what the Lord is telling us, right? We didn't want to serve the Lord, so he said you're going to serve your enemies and you're going to be brought back into slavery again with what?
With ships.
Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
We're talking about the land of Israel, right? Where we come from. The land of Israel is named after us, right? And it said, so the people that live in Israel today are not the Israelites, right? Read.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
So when we get to America, we're going to be sold unto our enemies. Who are we sold to? Our enemies, right? Read.
For bond men
Slave men
and bond women.
and slave women, right? Read.
And no man shall buy you.
And that word buy in the Hebrew, right, which the Old Testament was written in, goes into the word redeem, meaning what? That no man will be able to redeem us out of this captivity, right? We're still in the land of our captivity till this day. We were brought here on ships and yet we still dwell here, right? Because we're still in captive to the so-called white man. That's why there's a system of oppression still on us, right? Physically we're free, but mentally we're still enslaved as a nation, right? And Martin Luther King, right? Malcolm X, right? Barack Obama, no man will redeem us out of this captivity, Lord says, right? So we have to understand. Do y'all know why we were put into slavery? Why we're in this predicament? We read it in verse 15. Bring that out again, right?
Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is why those curses happen to us. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day,
Right.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So these things happen to us in history. And these curses that are upon us hating our people, hating our women, hating our children, and things of that nature, serving our enemy and being slaves to them, happen because of what? We didn't listen to the Lord, right? That's right. So read Deuteronomy chapter 30 from the top, right? This is going to turn around. This captivity will turn. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 30. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt cause them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
He said that the Israelites are going to call these curses, right, in all the nations that the Lord has driven us. Why? Because we were taken captives into all of these lands, right? You got Africa, you got America right here, you got the West Indians, right? Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad, you got Haiti, Haitians, right? You got Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Guatemala, all the way to Panama, right? The indigenous people of America, Colombia to Uruguay, Mexico, Argentina, right? All of these nations, we're going to wake up in the land of our captivity. And what?
And shall return unto the Lord thy God.
And shall what?
And shall return unto the Lord thy God.
So that's what we're out here telling our people that we have to do. First, we're letting you know your nationality. Hey, you guys are Israelites, right? You're not black and you're not African American. Black is a color and African American was created by Jesse Jackson, right? What were we called before then? Right? Israelites, right? That's what they don't want you to know. That we're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, right? And it says that when we're in this land, we're going to come back to our Lord, right? Read.
And shall obey his voice.
And shall what?
And shall obey his voice.
So we're out here telling our people to obey the voice of the Lord. Read.
According to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
He said that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity. Read it again.
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
So once we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, he's going to turn our captivity. Read.
And have compassion upon thee.
And have compassion on us, right? Once you begin to do what your father said, then he'll start feeling, compassionate towards you, and he'll turn thy captivity, right? Basically, we're in a spiritual punishment right now, right? Lord's put us in punishment. And once we do the things that our Father asks, right? If your Father says, make sure that kitchen's clean, and you don't, and he puts you on punishment. Once you go clean that kitchen, right, he'll have compassion on you. He'll say, okay, now you can go outside, right? Now you can go to your friend's house. That's what the Lord said. Once you turn back to me, then I will have compassion on you, right? So that's what we have to do. We have to follow the Lord's commandments, right? Do y'all know what sin is? You know what sin is, sister? What do you think sin is? Right? Is it a sin? Let me ask you a question. Is it a sin to eat crawfish? Is that a sin? It is, right? Because why? Look at 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. We gotta find out the biblical definition of sin. Read.
1 John 3 and 4.
Right.
Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law.
Right.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
What is sin?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So sin is transgressing the law, right? What is the law? The first 5 books of the Bible, right? Genesis all the way to Deuteronomy, right? Those first 5 books, the Lord laid out rules and regulations, right? He kind of told us the things that we should do, the things that we should eat, the things that we shouldn't do, and certain rituals and ceremonies that we should be keeping, right? And he said that if you don't do any of these things in this first 5 books, that you are therefore in sin, right? So we have to go back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, because sin is the transgression of the law, right? So I'm going to give y'all some commandments that we have to be keeping, right? Give me the book of Exodus chapter 35 and verse 2, right? Numbers, Genesis chapter 11. You already there. That's the spirit, right?
Exodus 35 and 2.
Right?
6 days shall work be done.
So we're in the book of Exodus, right? Which is the second book of the Bible. So first 5 books is the law, right? And in the second book of the Bible, right, the law, it says what?
6 days shall work be done. But on the 7th day there shall be unto you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
So the Lord says that we have to keep his Sabbath, right? Which is the 7th day of the week. What's the 7th day of the week? Sunday? When you go on your calendar, what's the first day of the week? The first day of the week on your calendar will be Sunday. So what's the 7th day? That would be Saturday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday will be the 7th day, right? So Saturday is the Sabbath. You understand? Right now, it's the Sabbath, right? But when did the Sabbath begin? Give me Genesis chapter 1.
Genesis 1 and 5.
Right?
And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
So God's about to explain to us what one day is. Read.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So the evening and the morning was the first day. So when the sun sets, that's the beginning of the day according to the Bible. Not what the white man's told us. The day doesn't kind of start in the middle of the night. This is the beginning of the day at 12 a.m., right? That's not the beginning of a day, right? The day starts when the sun goes down. That's the end of yesterday and the beginning of today because the sun went down, right? And from even, right, when the sun goes down all the way, so the sun goes down again, will be one day, right? The evening and the day and the morning were one day, right? So the Sabbath is on the 7th day, which is Saturday. But when did Saturday start? It started at sundown yesterday, right? Or Friday. So sundown Friday is the beginning of the Sabbath. And when the sun goes down today, that'll be the end of it. So sundown, which is probably around 6 p.m. today, would be the end of the Sabbath, right? Because that's a day according to the Bible. Y'all brothers got a chance to hear the word of the Lord. Right, we out here speaking life and peace to our brothers, man. We trying to give y'all life in this last day.
Already, all praise.
That's all praise to the Most High. All praise.
So right now, man, what we breaking down is some commandments that God has keep. Right? So one commandment is that you have to keep the Sabbath day. When does the Sabbath start? Sundown on what day?
Friday.
That's right. Sundown on Friday. Sundown on Friday is the Lord's Sabbath day, right? Give me Nehemiah chapter 10, right? Give me Nehemiah 13.
Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse
31.
31.
No.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell,
So what?
on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy it of them.
That we will what?
That we will not buy it of them.
So on the Sabbath day, you cannot buy or sell, right? On this day, you have to prepare. Well, the Lord said in 6 days, you can do whatever you want. Buy something, sell something. That's when you do it, right? But on my day, the holy day that's set apart from every other day, you don't do these things, right? If you truly love the Lord, right? This is what the Lord said. Read.
Or on the holy day, in that we will leave the 7th year in the exaction of every debt.
See that? So this is give me Nehemiah 13. Because why? That it's evil to sell and buy on the Sabbath day, right? And the Lord will put you to death for that, right? It's also a sin to work on the Sabbath day, right? You can't do any work. On the Lord's day, you kind of have to be at home in your tent, or as the Bible says, be your home, right? And you kind of want to abound yourself in the words of the Lord, right? You want to worship the Lord by doing what? Getting wisdom and understanding. Give me Psalms 111 and verse 10, right? So this is a commandment that you have to keep. This is how you worship the Lord. And that's what this day is, right? A day of worship. Bring it out.
Psalms 111 and 10.
No.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right?
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
So his praise endures forever. This is the praise of the Lord, right? Keeping his commandments. Doing what? Reading his word, slowly and meditating in there day and night. So on the Sabbath day, you kind of want to read your Bible, stay in the spirit, right? You don't want to clean or cook or buy or sell or any of that on the Sabbath day. You want to keep it holy to the Lord. So in the 6 days, you want to prepare for that, right? Before the sun goes down on Friday, you kind of want to get all your food, right? And prepare what you're going to eat for tomorrow. So if you're going to eat sandwiches, right? At nighttime, you can eat a hot meal that you cooked right before the sun went down, right? So that Friday night, you can have a hot meal that you cooked before the Sabbath, right? And then the next day, or it's the same day, but Saturday when you wake up, right? You can eat cold things like what? Sandwiches, salads, chicken salads, and things of that nature. Somebody get that system fire, right? Sandwiches, salads, and things of that nature, right? You want to eat cold food. You don't want to cook these things on Sabbath, right? Don't warm anything up, oven, microwave, anything like that, right? The Lord says that's the abomination. So that's one commandment, keeping the Sabbath holy, right? Give me Leviticus chapter 11, right?
Leviticus 11,
Right? 3 verses.
verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are all the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So the Lord said he's given us, he said, speak to the children of Israel and tell them what you can eat of everything that's on the earth, right? Read. So jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
So y'all know what swine is? Pork, right? The Lord said the pork is unclean to us because he does not chew the cud, right? Read verse 3. These are the requirements of any animal on earth that you can eat. Read.
Whatsoever part of the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
So the Lord said we can eat anything that has a hoof. The hoof is split and it chews the cud, right? So a horse we can't eat because it has a hoof, but it's not split, right? A pig we cannot eat because it has a hoof, it's split, but it doesn't chew the cud, right? But a cow or a buffalo or things of those natures, they have a hoof, they're split, and they chew the cud. Meaning what? They eat grass and they eat clean things and they filter out the things in their bodies, right? Pigs don't do that. Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So this is what you can eat in the waters, right? Read.
Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So the Lord said in the waters, whatsoever has fins and scales. Can you eat crawfish, sister? It don't have fins and scales, right? Can you eat it doesn't have scales. Yeah, catfish are bottom feeders, right? Everything the Lord said not to eat are all bottom feeders, meaning what? They're scums of the water. They eat all the nasty things, and they're there to really cleanse the water, right? The coral reefs right now are all black and brown, and they used to be pinks, purples, and blues, because what? The thing that's there to filter it naturally, we're eating, right? The Lord is looking at it like, man, y'all are messing up I put this here for a specific reason. He told y'all not to do it, and when he comes back, he's gonna be angry, like, damn, look at my water, man. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be like, what are y'all doing? I said not to eat that, right? So the Lord said not to eat those things. So what do y'all have to do? Y'all gotta subscribe to that YouTube channel. Continue to get the words of wisdom that the Lord brought out, right? I want to leave y'all off with one last thing, right? Give me the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3, right? I want to leave y'all off with one scripture before y'all leave. Actually, I'm gonna give y'all two. Give me Revelation 14 and 22. Right?
1 John 2 and 3.
Pop up.
And it reads.
Hold on. Let her get the YouTube now. What I'm about to bring out is very, very important, and I want y'all to listen to this. You ready? All right, bring that out.
1 John 2 and 3.
Right.
And hereby we do know that we know him.
This is how we know the Lord. Read.
If we keep his commandments.
If we what?
If we keep his commandments.
So what we're out here doing is bringing our people back. Because in Deuteronomy, we told y'all that we did not keep the Lord's commandments, and that's the reason we're in here. So the Lord said, this is how we know we love him, right? You really love your Father by doing what he says. Read.
But he that saith I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar,
right?
And the truth is not in him.
So the Lord said, if you say you know the Lord and you know his Father, right, and you don't keep their commandments, you're a liar. Read.
But whoso keepeth his word in him, verily is the love of God perfected.
That's how you perfect the love of God, by keeping his word. Keep reading.
Hereby know we that we are in him.
That's how you know that you're in the Lord.
He that said he abideth in him on himself also, so to walk even as he walked.
So the Lord said, he that says that the Lord is in him ought to walk as the Lord walked, right? How did the Lord walk? Sinless, blameless, right? And what is sin? Transgression the first 5 books of the Bible, right? So you have to walk in that if you say that the Lord abides in you. Give me Revelation 14 and 12, and I'm going to leave y'all off with that, right?
It's Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints.
So y'all know the song, the saints go marching in? What are they marching into? Y'all know? The kingdom of heaven, right? The saints are marching into the kingdom of heaven. Read that again.
Here is the patience of the saints.
So those who are going to heaven, right, getting in, called by the Lord, their name written on the book of life. This is the thing that they're doing patiently. Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
That what?
That keep the commandments of God.
Right, read.
And faith of Jesus.
Right, and that's the Greek translated name, but his name in the Paleo Hebrew would be Yahweh Shai, right? And the Heavenly Father's name would be Yahweh, right? Because there was no J and things of that nature, and you don't translate a name. McDonald's in China is called McDonald's. You don't translate names into different languages, right? So his name is Yahweh Shai. That's the name who the world calls Jesus, right? So those who are getting into the kingdom of heaven are keeping the commandments of the Lord, your works, and the faith in Yahweh Shai, right? Which is your faith. Because what? Faith without works is what? Dead. So what do you have to be doing in order in these last days? You have to go to these first 5 books of the Bible, go on that YouTube channel, right? There's an email on there where you can contact us to get wisdom and understanding of the Lord and keep his commandments, right? Starting with what? The things we brought out to you today. No longer transgressing the Lord's Sabbath, right? Eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, right? Pork, things of these natures. Because in Isaiah chapter 66, the Lord said he's going to kill all those people doing that. So we got to come back to his law, statutes, and commandments and perfect the love of God by keeping his commandments, as it said, right? That's how we perfect our faith, by walking everything in this book. So I just want to leave y'all off with that. What's y'all's nationality?
Israelite.
That's
What?
right.
Israelites. Hey, and we out here every Saturday at 3 p.m. and on Friday nights we're on Grace Street at 8 p.m. So if y'all have any questions, come to us. All praise. What's going on, brother? Are you an Israelite, brother? What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother?
YouTube page.
YouTube page?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
Right here, right here. Seeing this, brother.
Yeah, scan that right there. Go to your camera.
Take a picture of it.
So you will be an Israelite according to the Bible. Brother, you got a chance to hear the words of the Lord? You got a couple of minutes for the Lord today, man?
Follow this one, follow.
Hey, brother, you got any questions, brother? No questions? You know you an Israelite?
All praise. I'm from a different religion.
Well, this isn't a religion, brother. This is a heresy. Give me directly for
No, I'm Muslim.
You're what?
I'm Muslim.
What's your nationality?
Nigerian.
Nigerian. Okay. So let me ask you a question. You know how people in the West Africa got the faith or the doctrine of Muslim? How did they get it?
The Arabs came and, with the holy war.
So you know that Muslim, the doctrine that you subscribe to, was spread through the sword, right? It was given to you by the sword. You were either to serve Allah and the Muslims, or you were gonna die.
A little ham and
That's how
cheese
your
to me,
people
man.
became Muslim. Did you know that?
You don't have much,
Not really, bro.
have much salt.
Not really. It was two ways. It was like this. And the sword, the holy war,
That's kind of how
the Muslims
ham dress right there.
only went to war by defense.
Jake don't
Never by
even dress like that.
You got the
They
sword.
have to be attacked first in order to go to war. They never attack.
We're gonna read a surah for you, right?
Hey, what tribe are you?
Huh?
What tribe are you?
How's up?
Huh?
How's up?
Wasting your time. That's ham. That's ham. That's ham.
Read that surah,
This is Surah, chapter 9 and verse 5.
right? Salat.
That's ham right there, boy.
Surah 9 and 5,
Right?
and it reads, when the forbidden months are over, wherever you encounter the idolaters, keep.
Wait. Hold on. Read that again.
When the 4 forbidden months are over, wherever you encounter the idolaters,
The idolatry. What does that mean? Those who are not serving Allah, correct? If you're in idolatry, answer the question. Yes?
Yeah.
So if
Keep
you
going,
were
keep
serving,
going. I want to hear the whole.
all right, I got you. I just want to.
I know which
right.
verses. I just want to.
Idolaters are those who are not keeping the Muslim faith, right?
Yeah.
Read that from the top.
when the 4 forbidden months are over, wherever you encounter the idolaters,
Whenever you encounter those who are not Muslim, read.
kill them.
Do what?
Kill them.
Do what?
Kill them.
No. Wait for them to attack you and then kill them.
Kill them.
Read.
Seize them.
Right?
Besiege them.
Right?
Wait for them at every lookout post.
No, wait for them to attack you first.
Wait
for them at every lookout post.
Read.
But if they turn to Allah,
Right.
maintain the prayers
So if they turn to Allah, if they become Muslim, read.
and pay their prescribed alms,
Pay us. Read.
let them go on their way.
Right? You see that? So you can be a Muslim. This is what the Quran says, right? Not a doctrine or something that we're saying. This is the book that you subscribe to. Said that if you are not serving Allah, you are to either be killed or get down with the faith and pay us. If you do not come to us and pay us and get down with Allah, you will be killed. And not only are you going to be killed, but it says to look out for them at every post. So what are they doing? They're going into the lands looking for who's not a Muslim, and they're either killing them or making them get down. That's what the Quran says.
You gotta understand what's the context. I don't want to talk because I don't have that specific knowledge, but I know this was specific to a time. It doesn't apply right now. This was when the
But what we're saying is how
the
you
rule
got
that I
it.
said still applies, but
No. What I'm saying is that verse right there, because you're saying that verse was applying to back then, right? And back then is when your people became Muslim. So that's what happened back then for you to be a Muslim today. People that look like you became Muslim because it was spread through the
was not part of the people who were forced. I was born, I was given a choice. I could have been an atheist, Muslim, Christian,
So
anything,
so let me ask you a question.
I'm the one who said I choose to be a Muslim. Nobody forced me.
No one forced you. So how did you come into choosing to be a Muslim? Why was that an option for you to choose?
Okay, I was born Muslim, right? But then after I started doing my own research, right?
So what do you mean you were born Muslim?
I was born in a Muslim family, but
Right, that's what I'm saying.
but let me finish. But then I had the choice. Back then I was just saying I'm Muslim. I didn't know what it was about.
Right.
Then when I started growing up, I became an adult. Then I really had a choice to do what I wanted.
So let me tell you this, right?
Right.
A child is trained in the way that they should go. That's according to the scripture that your book tells you to reference. Are you familiar with that? The Quran tells you to reference the Bible. You know that? Because Quran just
The
means
Bible that's here right now is not the one they're talking about.
Why is it not?
Because it has been falsified and modified.
How?
By men?
How?
I'm telling you by men. You
I'm
say
saying,
how?
I'm saying, like, how did they mortify it? How did the man mortify the Bible?
People they just took the Bible and took some verses from it.
When did they do that?
Alter in the past. Bro, you can't play with words.
I'm asking, are you studied on this topic that you're telling me?
Don't try to like.
No, I'm asking you, are you studied on this topic that you're telling me? Because you're telling me things, but I don't know if you actually studied this. I'm just taking your word. Do you have any sources to prove these things? How do you know that it was altered?
I just told you it was altered.
No, I'm asking you, how do you know that though? I don't want to just take your word. I want to know if it's true.
How do you know it's not altered?
Because I haven't seen anything in history that says these words were altered.
First of all, how many Bibles are there?
There's one holy Bible. How many Qurans are there?
Just one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's not. There's not one. There's more than one holy Quran.
Nah, bro. It's only one
But
Quran.
what he's saying is
There's
how many
more than
Bibles?
one
He's going to get into translations, right? And there's supposed to only be one Quran with 700 translations. And there's only one Bible. So if you're going to go to translations, then we can go into how many translations the Quran has. And how many tafsirs the Quran has that interpret it completely differently, right? You know what a tafsir is, right?
Look,
It's
the
commentary.
original one is in Arabic.